Hey everybody, Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. Welcome to my my technique video for our New Year's Eve online crop for Country Craft Creations. We're gonna do some ink blending and go over a couple of the basics of it and then some other fun things you may not have thought of. So as far as basics go, so we are going to use for the blending that I'm going to do today, we're going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. These blend really, really smoothly and really easily. So if you're newer to the ink blending, this is, I think, probably one of the better ways to go. These inks are all available. The ones I'm going to use today are all available in the store at Country Craft Creations. And the other thing is, it's easiest to blend either on a glass mat, so I've got my Caterpillar glass mat, or I've got the Waffle Flower stencil mat. So these are coming to the store at Country Craft Creations. They are not in yet, but let me show this to you. And I've had mine for a while, so mine does have a few stains on it. And what's nice with these is you can ink blend on these, and when you put your paper on here, your paper, when you're pushing down on it, your paper's not going to move. Okay. Why it is a stencil mat is because it's got kind of a lip on here that you can see. So you can put your paper in a corner. You can take your stencil, push your stencil up in the corner. And this is an Echo Park. What is the name of this one? Like Hearts and Stars, I believe. And you can put your paper up there in the corner, and you don't necessarily even have to tape your paper down, and you can just go ahead and ink blend. So I'm going to start out with the new Lumberjack Plaid Distress Oxide. I have a variety of blending brushes that have come from all over the place. However, in the CCC store, there are some Spellbinders ones, and there are Waffle Flower blending brushes coming. And I have, these are not Waffle Flower. However, I have some Waffle Flower. I'm just not sure where they are. So they're both of them are good quality. So I've got my ink. I'm just going to come in with my blending brush, and I'm funny about my blending brushes for my oxides. I could use like color families, so basically all red ink. I'm just going to use, you know, one brush for all the different shades of red, one for the different shades of blue, so on and so forth. The oxides, just because they kind of behave differently than like most other inks, I do actually have individual brushes for each color. So when you see me switching brushes, that's why. Okay. So I'm going to get that on there. I'm going to start, which where we're doing this on a stencil, it's not nearly as important, but we're just going to kind of go in circular motions. And the reason you want to do the circular motion is because if you just go one direction, you're going to have your ink is going to kind of just, you're not going to get everywhere in the opening on that stencil. Okay. So when you do the circular motion and you kind of go back and forth, you're going to get into all of those holes. Okay. So you can see there. And because of the stencil mat, I can put it back down where it's going to go right back where I want it. And then I'm going to try some prize ribbon. And we're going to go up over here. Another tip when ink blending, even whether you're using stencils or you're using you're just doing like a panel for a card or something else, or one of the other fun little things I'm going to show you here in a minute, Post-it notes. So rather than hold this down and get ink on my fingers, then inadvertently get little inky fingerprints on my paper, I can use the Post-it note to hold that down, and I don't have to worry about getting ink on my fingers or, you know, getting ink where I don't really want it to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, put my cover back on there, move my stencil, and there we go. We've got just a cute little background. We could use this as, in fact, I think I did this. I think that's why I have this stencil. you could do this to your photo mats that you're putting in your mini albums. Like, seriously, how cute would that be to get the coordinating stencils for some of these paper lines? I believe this one goes with, well, was part of one of the Echo Park Disney inspired lines, if I remember correctly. But I mean, how cute would that be to use that for your backgrounds or for your photo mats? I know what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out. Okay, so that's one way with the stencil mat. The stencil mat will clean up really, really easily. But because your paper doesn't really move, I can even come in here. Let's use the Uncharted Mariner, just because I don't think I've even, no, I guess I have swatched it because I do have a brush with some ink on it. So it just needs a label. So if we were going to blend the whole thing, that's when you want to be a little bit more careful. And you would kind of start off the edge and you're going to work in that same circular motion so you get a nice smooth blend. Okay. One thing I will say, you do want smooth cardstock. You can absolutely blend on artisan cardstock, but you're going to have a very different effect to it because it is the linen cardstock. In fact, let me grab one. There's one. I knew I had a scrap of white just like sitting over here. So if I do this same blend on the artisan, it gives it a neat effect, but depending on what you're trying to do, I would prefer to have that nice smooth blend, whereas this is going to kind of, let me hold these up so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so you can see on the artisan, you're getting, it's picking up that pattern of the linen in the cardstock. Where this one, which is a smooth, doesn't do that. Okay. Okay. The My Colors cardstock that is in the on the website does have a line that is smooth cardstock. So I've got, let me grab just a scrap from this, from when I was trying to stamp earlier. They do have some smooth, however, there is not a white smooth. So I'm sure she's got some smooth coming, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like. So any of the smooth white cardstock I'm using is out of my stash, just so you're aware. But you can also ink blend on colored. So this is, I believe, Cobblestone. There's like two really light ones that they have. Actually, no, I think this is called Almost Gray, actually. But again, we can come in here and ink blend on that. And that works just beautifully too. In fact, you're getting kind of a neat blend, particularly with the oxides on that, because the oxides will show up on darker paper, so like on black cardstock, which of course some of them show up better than others. Obviously, like the darker colors on black cardstock aren't nearly as vibrant as like the lighter colors. Let's try some Salvage Patina on here. So you can see, you can blend this on colored cardstock as well, and it works just beautifully. And honestly, where this is that really pale gray, you know, if you were fully blending this out for like a card panel or a mat or something like that, or like a background on a shaker, which would be awesome, you're not going to know once you get that blending done that this was not that you didn't start with a white sheet of paper. In fact, blending on colored cardstock, especially if I was trying to do blue and I was starting with a lighter blue cardstock, it's easier to blend that out because you're just adding the same color family on top, and it gives you a very nice blended out, you know, you can get kind of that ombre look where, you know, the colors kind of fade into each other. So that's something else that you can do with the ink blending. Another thing that we can do is and I need to fix my lights some more, sorry. There we go. I think that may be better. This is some of the Cardabella Shimmer cardstock, and this is just the white shimmer. So really, I'm actually going to cut this down because I don't want to do this whole thing like this because I want to show you something else with this one. So we can take this one as well and ink blend on this. So let's try Saltwater Taffy on this one, which is one of the other newer distress colors. So we can come in on that shimmer paper as well and ink blend. And you're getting your color, but you're also getting just a little bit of that shimmer that comes through even through that ink, which is really neat. So that's just another thought. Well, let's try that Kitsch Flamingo. We'll just kind of continue blending this one out. In fact, it actually blends really nicely on this. I don't think I've actually blended on this. So as I'm getting those two colors together, so the Saltwater Taffy is kind of a pale pink, almost a light orangish. And then of course the Kitsch Flamingo is like flamingo pink. I don't know. I mean, that's why it's named that. When I'm blending this so that we don't have like a line between the two colors, I'm blending this back up over the bottom part of my Saltwater Taffy so that the two colors blend together and it just flows. Okay. Do I have... No, he has not come out with another kind of pinkish tone. So we're going to go back to Salvaged Patina. And we'll get that one down here at the bottom. And you can see where those overlap. Right in there, I'm getting kind of a purple. And that's why you want to kind of go back up into the color above. So I don't really have colors out here to do a true rainbow blend. And this one may end up being too dark and may end up completely screwing up my whole blend here, but that's okay. It'll be fine since we're just playing around anyway. But so I don't get fingerprints. So I'm just going to very lightly come back at this with the purple, and I'll be heavier down here towards the bottom and much lighter up at that top as it kind of comes up over the bottom of that Salvaged Patina. Except I've now got a line because of where I held my paper. Okay. If I decided I needed more of another color, I can come in and go back. Okay, so there we go. We've got a nice little blended piece here. So I'm sure at this point you're kind of going, okay, cool, ink blending, whatever. But did you ever consider that you can do this and then die cut, or conversely that you can die cut and then ink blend. So I am going to grab a butterfly, maybe. Clearly, I have not pulled this off of the packaging before. Okay, so I'm going to take my butterfly, which that one's too wide, of course, because that figures. And get the slightly smaller one. All right, and I'm going to kind of put him down here. Okay, I'm going to take some low tack tape, and this is just Scotch removable tape that I buy on Amazon, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through my die cut. I'll be right back. Maybe. Okay. So grab a pokey tool to get this little guy out. I think I need to retire those cutting plates because I tell you what, that did not want to. Oh no, it's fine. I just need to pop them out. Okay. But as you can see, because we blended our ink and then we die cut our piece, it gives us a very different look than just simply cutting this out and maybe inking the edges, or cutting this out of a solid color of cardstock, or what have you. Well, you guys get the basic idea. It's going to give you a totally different look on that die cut doing it this way. Okay, so next, get another one out of here. No. The other way you can do this is to die cut your piece. You see this thing sticks right to that glass mat, so it's not going anywhere. It's awesome. So conversely, we can die cut and then ink blend. So I am going to grab this butterfly die from our Heartfelt Creations that is available in the store, and a piece of smooth white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and die cut this one out. Okay. And I need new cutting plates, I think, because this did not want to cut through. Let me try that one more time. There we go. All right. Except I just totally screwed that one up. That's okay, because now we know, and we can do this again. Okay, Success? No! I think it's my cutting plates. I think my cutting plates have about had it. And since that is all nice and stuck, we're going to try one more time. There we go. All right. It's just not playing nicely today, but that's okay. All right, so we have our die cut, and I'm going to pop him out of here, but I'm not going to pop out all those little pieces in between. I could. In fact, maybe I will on like one little section just to kind of show you the difference. Let's do that. Because what we want to do is we're going to ink blend our butterfly. Okay. And I apparently have like really, I think I grabbed the wrong cardstock, honestly. I think this is my stuff for card bases, not for ink blending. So that would explain it. All right. So I'm going to start with some prize ribbon. I'm going to start up here on the top. And again, I'm starting kind of off the edge of my die cut. Okay. So, and really, I guess it does, with this one in particular, it's not making a whole lot of difference. So, because we die cut it first, the ink is going to kind of catch and build up more where there's these openings and anywhere that's cut versus it being just the flat paper that you ink blend and then die cut. So where this one is a more seamless blend, it was because we blended it and then we cut it. This one is going to behave just a little bit differently because we're blending over these cut areas. Okay. So we got that in there, and I think we're going to come in next with some salvaged patina. So if you ever feel like you're getting bored with your die cuts, this is one way to get a lot more miles out of them. And you can do this with just like plain old, you know, shapes, like circles and squares and that kind of thing. You can do this with your punches. Like you can ink blend and then punch things out. I've done that before too. Okay. All right, and let's go from the salvaged patina to, let's go back to that saltwater taffy. I quite like that one. I hadn't really, I think I swatched it when I got it, and that's as far as I got with it. Okay. It's the first day of Christmas break, and my son has friends over that he hasn't seen for probably a month, and I had to wait for them to leave my basement so I could come in here and do this because I could not hear myself think. And they're up there just having all kinds of fun, which is good. I'm happy for them. But it was just like, I have things I need to do. Okay, we're going to come in with the Kitsch Flamingo. Okay. And you can always go back with any of your colors if you're not happy with how it came out. And I think I'm actually going to finish off in this bottom with the Uncharted Marina. Just a little bit along that bottom. And see, I'm already breaking my own rule and not using a paper to keep from getting fingerprints on that, but that's okay. All right, so you could leave it like that with that little bit of white, but I'm going to come in and finish that off with Villainous Potion, which quite honestly, I think is probably my favorite distress color in years. That is just like the best purple. Okay, so there we have our little inked up die cut, and I've lost my little pokey tool. So, and honestly, to the decision to ink and then cut, or cut and then ink, I would also base it too on the die that I'm trying to use. Something super, super delicate and intricate, I would ink blend and then die cut, because you don't want to tear something, you know, get halfway through blending it and accidentally tear part of it. Yeah, I definitely grabbed the wrong cardstock for this, because this is like card base weight. This is not something I normally would die cut with. And I didn't realize I grabbed it out of the wrong stack when I grabbed it out of the drawer. But that's okay. This is more about a technique than actually having something perfect at the end here. Yeah, way too thick a cardstock. But you get the basic idea. So then you'd have this beautiful, delicate butterfly that's got, you know, this very nice color palette on it. And you can use this on a card, and an album, you know, however you want to do it. And it gives you, you know, just another option. It's a way to stretch your die cuts, you know, get more use out of your dies, to change something up rather than, you know, cutting this out of, you know, pink paper or blue paper or something like that. You're getting, you know, you're getting something a lot different that you wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. So that basically is my new technique for 2023 for you guys. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you then. Bye.